Good morning. Welcome to the Squirrely Gardener channel. I am just doing a quick August update. I haven't really done a whole lot this year, and hopefully I will get better at that. So let's get started. I'm very proud of these nasturtiums. They exploded. You've got little blossoms hidden everywhere. I'm hoping that we'll have a lot of seeds this year. They are beautiful. But look at all that green. I think this year we're going to chop and drop to help give some nutrients back to the planter. These orange ones are beautiful. We still don't have, I don't know what this is. It's got to be some kind of daylily? But our gladiolus didn't make it. I'm not sure what kind of lily this is. These were here when we moved in. They're pretty though. It's another nasturtium flower. I have been thinking that it would be a good idea. This little space gets pretty much no sun at all. And I'm really tired of picking these prickly things that are like thistles. But I think that this area would be a wonderful spot to maybe inoculate some logs. There's some logs on the other side of the fence that you probably can't see. Inoculate some logs with some mushrooms or mushroom spores and just kind of stack them there in the middle. I don't really know how well that would work, but maybe. I think it would be worth a shot. Okay. Most people know about the Three Sisters garden where you grow corn and you grow beans up the corn. I tried to do the same thing with sunflowers and cucumbers. And I think the cucumbers are just a little too heavy and the leaves might be a little too big and they kind of pull the sunflowers down. I think if I had a longer season and I had been able to grow the sunflowers up a little bit more before I started the cucumbers, it probably would work out better. So if you have a longer season, you could probably do that. You just got to let the stalks of the sunflower get stronger first. I've also been having a hard time this year with just growing in general, but I think that is mostly because of the random bouts of hail we keep getting. Oh no. Haven't been out here for a couple of days because of the smoke from Canada. That's kind of why it's why I sound out of breath and am a little sniffly. But I'm gonna see if I can find a spot where you can see it. You see the little white speckles? Those are the cabbage moth eggs. And they're everywhere. But these are turnips, so I had thought that they would be safe. That didn't work out. I've seen the butterflies out here a lot, and they every time they come over and just lay more eggs on these turnips. So next year, if we're still here, I'm gonna maybe do a trap crop on the other side over there and just plant a whole bunch of cabbages and such, and then maybe figure out a way to cover the stuff I actually want with bug netting or something. These are the Bonnie Centennial tomatoes, and they have not really been producing. I'm not sure if I just didn't give them the correct type of fertilizer. Sorry, my arm had an itch. Just started to get peppers. I think this is a purple bell pepper. This one made a pretty good recovery. We've had to fight the rabbit several times, chase him out of the yard. But he ate this one all the way down to the ground, and that one doesn't seem to be making as much of a recovery, and I don't expect to get anything from it. Sorry, very out of breath with the smoke from Canada. These, between the tomatoes, are marigolds. I'm hoping that we'll get some blossoms. I'd like to press them this year. This is the Black Prince tomato. It's got a huge cluster right here that I'm really excited about. But today is August 4th, and we have yet to have a single ripe tomato. And then these two on this end are red beefsteaks. They have a couple of fruits, but it looks like the blossoms kind of just been dying. So they got some fruit down here at the bottom. And then when you get closer to the top, there's one little fruit there, but it looks like these blossoms died off before they could produce another fruit. I didn't notice this before. So these little bushes are sweet potatoes. It's my first time ever growing sweet potatoes, so I'm just kind of winging it. But it looks like the the squash has other ideas. It is trailing over the sweet potatoes. Right there. There's a sweet potato underneath the squash. This garden's just kind of a mess this year, but sometimes gardens are like that. Next year, I also think that when I plant the sections, little mounds, collections, pieces of the Three Sisters garden, I'm going to start the corn and beans a week before I plant, maybe 2 weeks before I plant the squash, because it looks like the squash pretty well blocks out the light from the corn and beans. I just haven't figured out the exact way to do that yet, I guess. I did come out here to hand pollinate. This is a male flower. Just one little thing. I don't know what they're called. I'm not that good at I'm not that knowledgeable just yet. One little thing in the center of this means it's a male flower. This one has 3 or 4. That one's a female flower. And it will have a miniature fruit behind it, like, whoop, right there. Now I want my finger. So, right there. It looks like the squash is doing incredibly well. So, I'm hopeful that either Dennis and I or the new homeowner will get a lot of squash. There's a ton of flowers today. Hopefully that means that all of the female flowers in there will get pollinated and will turn into nice healthy fruit like this. I think this might be one that I pollinated with zucchini. I did mark them with, man, I'm sorry. It's really hard to breathe in the smoke. I did pollinate them with zucchini pollen, and then I added a tomato tie to it to mark them, and I'm hoping to gather the seeds from those and see if those are any good or if they're weird. I don't know. I didn't have any male sweetmeat blossoms or winter squash blossoms at that point, and I didn't want to lose them. I love this little jungle in here. It's beautiful. Then these are, oh sorry, the sunflowers over here are the giant Mongolians, and these are the mammoths. I don't really think either of them are going to get big enough to flower before the frost, because I didn't start these indoors this year. But they still look nice, and they will make wonderful compost for next year. Then we have weeds, but also this stuff right here is lettuce. I was hoping that a lot more would come up, but I think that the rabbit nibbled a good deal of it to the ground, and then you can see right there that some of it just got burned by the sun. And then this is very sad. I don't know what is happening to this poor little blueberry, this collection of sticks right here. Part of it's turning brown. It looks like something ate a bunch of its leaves off. But it lasted through last winter, so maybe it will make another recovery and come back next year and do even better. Here's hoping, I guess. Oh no, he pushed the bucket away. There's a little hole right there behind that bucket. You can see the bunny is determined. And I think there's only one area after this. This is the potatoes. I already pulled up the red potatoes because I wanted to make gnocchi. I boiled the potatoes yesterday, and I'm going to shape everything today. And then this side is the German butterball potatoes, which I don't think they'll be ready to pick until just after maybe the first frost. I don't know, I've never grown them before, but they're supposed to be like the best potatoes ever, taste-wise anyway. I am going to replant this section with radishes. I just realized that Dennis crushed the potato that was here. See, I failed. I failed at raising a fig indoors, and it died. So I had him bring it out here and put it in the planter so that it could, contribute its biomass to the health of the planter. But it looks like he set it right on top of this potato. So let's go ahead and pull this up because it's dead. Oh no. Well, there's not really anything enough to harvest on it, so we'll just leave it here, and it can rot and feed the planter too. It's very pretty out here. We'll just let you see. It's very pretty. This jungle of squash and corn and beans, and then the tomatoes and peppers, cucumbers and sunflowers, all the plants at the back of the garage that are flowering. It's still a very big yard, even with this large garden over here. That's the compost. Our trees are very large and old, so they drop some sticks, branches sometimes, and we just gather them in that corner, and then we, come on, refocus. There we go. Gather them in that corner, and then whenever fall comes, we stomp them down into very small, manageable sections, put cardboard on the ground, put the sticks on top of the cardboard, and then cover them with the unfinished compost so that it can finish composting over the winter. This year, though, something we didn't do with this bed, I think I'm going to add a couple bags of potting soil just to make sure that it has extra coverage. This has been a very good bed so far, but I think it needed a little bit more soil because it kind of seems like it's half sticks. But yeah, it is a very pretty yard, and it's fenced in, so that helps with being able to excuse me, helps with being able to defend it from the buns, because they're very determined. Oh, look, it's a beautiful feather. It's very pretty. The little speckles on it are the dew, though. Don't worry, it's not weird things on it. Okay, I'm going to show you the last piece of our backyard garden. When I started feeding the birds in the spring, they sat up on this gutter and dropped a sunflower seed. And I let it grow because I thought it would be a big, beautiful flower. And it really did try. However, it's been a while since we cleaned our gutters, and so water just pours from this corner down onto the flower, and the flower's all rotted. So I'll be cutting this down and throwing it in our stick pile back there for building beds in the fall. One last view of the yard. I am thinking about trying to put something up in front of that. It's a propane tank. Just doesn't really follow the aesthetic of the yard. I think it's beautiful back here. Very private and quiet. I'm going to do it right here. You can see that tree in the background. It is up against the river, and a lot of times you can see bald eagles in it. Not right now, but there is some kind of other large bird in it. It is a very nice place. Anyway, thank you for coming along on this tour, and I hope to be able to put out more content for you soon. It's been a little exhausting with packing, and Dennis and I have decided that this is the last time that we ever move, so the next property will be our forever home, and you'll get to see us build a garden from scratch, and hopefully many more important and fun things like solar and rainwater catchment systems, gray water systems. I'm super excited about this. I'm even planning on digging a root cellar. So, thank you for coming along with me today. I hope that your day is wonderful. You grow a good day. Bye.